Welcome to Vanlife, Devlog Zero. I'm building the base systems for a game about van life. Let's just say we ran into quite a few issues. Everything started off great. I found a first-person controller in Godot, loaded into our scene, and I already knew I wanted physics-based items and as little UI as possible. I'm talking diegetic UI. Now, we've got rigid bodies that we can drag around in 3D space. Snazzy. Then, I created a reusable item data resource to hold all of our item info. Stuff like names, descriptions, stats, variables. Now our items are knowledgeable. Now, at this point, the game was leaning into a scary roguelike, traveling from destination to destination, scavenging items along the way, and of course, every scary game needs health and explosions. Did that just fall through the ground? Dragging items did still feel a little weird at this point, but I fixed it after doing some quaternion math on a scrap of paper next to my crafting bench and furnace. I wanted a heavy emphasis on the vans since this game is all about van life, so items need to matter. Building and upgrading your van is key, and I wanted to keep it that way. That means we need solar panels for power and batteries to hold that power, and this leads to incredible interactions like this. So cool. Then I started building a level where players would explore to find van parts, so I started making a procedural house generator. The idea was to have a bunch of randomized loot spots inside that you can kind of go through and explore and kind of pick up things as you go, and then you bring those back to the van, move on to the next destination, rinse and repeat. I also worked on snap points. Now these are where items could attach to parts of the van, and being that you can attach them, I also wanted a way for us to detach them, so I gave them a little explosion, a little force. Okay, wait, what's going on here?
3 weeks later.
Oh my god, I was turning it off in code. Well, with that 3-week stint of me staring at my screen for hours, trying to figure out what was going on with my physics engine, I realized something. I didn't want to make a scary game, I wanted to make a more comfy, cozy game. So naturally, I switched to making an RPG. Wait, what?
Quest managers, dialogue, delivery system, wow.
During that time, I also gave the van a makeover, and I found an old Vanagon blueprint for reference, and yeah, she looks pretty good now. But as I was playing around more with the snap areas, I realized I didn't like how limiting they felt, just being able to place items in certain areas on the van. In my mind, when it comes to van life, I'm taking full creative freedom to be able to put things wherever you want around the van, so I just scrapped the snap areas completely, and now you can just place them anywhere in the van. Still buggy, but hey, it works. To make placing items easier, I added grid snapping, super satisfying. After a few weeks of realizing just how massive a quest and dialogue system would be by themselves, not including the rest of the game, I realized that an RPG for an indie dev just means no game. I wanted to make a game. After the first video that I released, I got this amazing comment. And yeah, they're right. I saw this comment at the perfect time, and this was just after a few weeks of me building out a massive quest and dialogue system. Well, I just realized that if I really wanted to do an RPG, it's going to take years, and I kind of wanted a smaller scope game that would be released quicker than that. So we're keeping it small, back to the roguelike idea, but this time, comfy cozy. So I built out a procedural travel map. This means that you can drive to and from destinations without all the boring travel in between. It keeps the scope tight. It lets me focus on designing a handful of creative and unique spots for the players to explore. All I have to do is add a little bit of RNG in there, and hey, who knows what you'll find. Now, about the van itself. This was something that I ran into countless bugs. Do we make it drivable, or do we keep it parked? Now, I'm not talking driving from destination to destination. I'm talking while you're in the level, do we allow it for the players to be able to drive the van around the level, around the destination that you chose, or do we keep it so that way that it stays in one spot? And after a lot of thinking about these two options, I've boiled it down to two scenarios. One, if we make it drivable, that's a lot more work and a lot more bugs on my end, but it gives you the freedom to explore faster. This will let you drive around the area, and who knows what other sort of roguelike RNG modifiers we can put on a van to make it fun to explore the level. Option 2 means that we just arrive to the destinations already parked, and all you do is get out and explore these areas. It could be a number of different places that I could put in there. And for me, I personally love the second option because it gives more room for features like your pet hanging around the van or chill moments that happen outside. I'd be able to build more about where you're parked and kind of integrate your parking situation better into the level rather than if you're just able to drive it around. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. How important is driving to you? And what ideas would you like to see in a van life roguelike? If you made it this far and you want to support me further, wishlist the game on Steam. Link in the description.